Hi, Career Safari Torch community. We're back with Mindful Monday and Coach Lynda. Thank you for those who have been giving feedback on how your mindfulness sessions are going. So Coach Lynda, I heard things like, I never knew you could, have color and scent to your emotions. So people really were shocked that they could explore their emotions in that way. Got a lot of cool responses around, what color their emotions were. Said mine was a slate blue one day. People also didn't know what to do with their emotions. So there was some interesting feedback there, and people found it intriguing that they could see their emotions and feel them, or not feel them, but, have all those senses connected to their emotions.
Yes, yeah, that's really great feedback. I'm so happy that you got feedback like that, because what it's doing is it's causing. I can hear from the listeners that they really are practicing the mindfulness of being in the present moment. Okay, and I want to remind everybody, and please don't judge yourself. Remember, we're doing this without judgment towards ourselves. Like, are we doing it right? How I suck at this. I can't do this, because you can do it with practice, and that's what mindfulness is all about. So to come back to the five senses, the reason why we spoke about the five senses around emotions last week is because we want to understand our emotions better. We all have emotions. We don't want to be suppressing emotions. It might not be appropriate to show emotion in the instance that it's showing up, because we don't want to be reactive, but we do want to be able to have a response to our emotions. And communication comes to us through our senses anyway. And as far as communication goes, communication is we have a stimulus, or we're hearing and information is coming at us, but we are also going to have a response to that, to whatever it is that's coming at us. And we want to have a response and not a reaction. And that's why it's so important that when we start to recognize what emotions we're feeling and we characterize them by doing the senses, we then are able to take them to the cognitive center of the brain, where we start to give them meaning. We start to unpack them and truly understand. Now that I've identified and characterized my emotion, I can actually unpack it in my mind and give it meaning. And we'll be dealing with thoughts in the next Mindful Monday. But just for now, what we do want to do is be aware that we have stimuluses coming towards us. It's actually 400 billion bits of information per second, which is magnanimous. And we do that. It comes to our brains through a process of deletion, distortion, or generalization, but they do come into our minds through our senses. And that's why senses are so important.
So what can we do this week to understand, all this or to bring our senses back?
To bring our senses back, there's a lovely task that we can do, because people who suffer from anxiety, or if you're now becoming aware of your emotions, because this is all about becoming mindful of how we're feeling, how our emotions, is if you start to feel stressed about something, and there's plenty to be stressed about today, and we're aware of that, is there's a very quick exercise that you can do. We've already spoken about our 3 minutes of mindful breathing, just to quieten the mind and get that autonomic nervous system balanced. We've spoken about doing a full body scan as where's our stress situated in our body. And now we've spoken about let's identify our emotions and characterize them. So the task for this week that I really would like the listeners and viewers to look at is to actually do the five senses. So if you are feeling stressed or anxious, you can actually say, name 5 things that I can see, because immediately it takes your eyes around your room, your environment. 5 things I can see, 4 things I can touch or feel, 3 things that I can hear, 2 things that I can smell, and 1 thing that I can actually taste. And that grounds you, it centers you, because you have to pay 100% attention to be able to do this practice. So if the viewers and our followers can actually practice that for the next week, I'd be very interested to find the feedback, because it really does ground us.
Thank you. And I have to admit, I could have used this yesterday when I was panicking about something. So
these are lovely, just little tools, and it's so good that we can share them, because instead of just throwing theory at people, I'm very passionate about giving them tools. That they actually can go together with the theory of what we're saying.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Lynda. I look forward to this time. I hope everyone else does. And so we'll see you next week, and we have our task. If you're feeling stressed, that five-finger test.
That's right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, bye everybody.
Okay. Cheerio, everybody.